Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going on a guided tour inside one of the most advanced and, frankly, mind-blowing manufacturing processes on Earth, how we make the brain of your computer, the CPU. It's a crazy thought, right? The very engine of our digital lives, the thing that powers almost everything we do, starts out as simple sand. And over the next few minutes, we're going to follow that humble grain of sand on its incredible journey to becoming a silicon marvel. So what is a CPU really? Well, you can think of it as the command center. Every single time you click your mouse, type on your keyboard, or launch a program, the CPU is the thing executing billions of instructions to make that happen. And all that magic comes down to billions and billions of microscopic switches called transistors. They are the fundamental building block of everything. Now, building a CPU isn't like assembling a car. We are operating on a scale so ridiculously small that a single invisible speck of dust can completely wreck a chip. It's a game of nanometer-level precision, where everything has to be perfectly reliable, and it all happens in some of the cleanest environments humanity has ever created. Okay, so to make sense of all this complexity, I've broken down our factory tour into 5 main stages. We'll start with the raw material, then we'll prepare it for construction, then we'll actually build the circuits, wire everything together, and finally, we'll test and package the finished product. So, let's get started. So here we are at the very beginning. The journey for every single high-performance processor starts right here. The star of the show is, of course, silicon, which we purify from quartz sand. So, why silicon? It's because it's a semiconductor. That's a fancy word that just means we can control its ability to conduct electricity. We can make it act like a conductor, which lets current flow, or an insulator, which stops it. And that on-off switching ability is exactly what a transistor needs to do its job. All right, next up, we can't just start building on raw silicon. We need to turn it into a perfectly pristine foundation for our circuits. I want you to think of it like preparing the world's most perfect, flawless canvas before an artist even thinks about picking up a brush. And this is a 4-step process. First, the silicon is purified to an absolutely insane degree. We're talking 99.999999999% pure, because any tiny impurity can mess up the electrical performance. Then, that ultra-pure molten silicon is used to grow a massive single crystal cylinder called an ingot. After that, the ingot is sliced into really thin discs, which we call wafers. And finally, each and every wafer is polished until it has a flawless, mirror-smooth surface, totally ready for construction. We've now reached the heart of the factory. This is where the real magic happens. This is where we will sculpt billions of transistors onto our perfect silicon canvas, using light itself in one of the most precise processes ever invented by humans. And this right here just illustrates the stakes. To work at the nanoscale, the environment has to be immaculate. I mean, we're talking about clean rooms where the air is filtered constantly to be over 1,000 times cleaner than a hospital operating room. The tiniest particle, something totally invisible to you and me, is like a giant boulder to a transistor. So yeah, absolute cleanliness is non-negotiable. The key technique we use for all this has a big name, photolithography. But really, you can just think of it as a super, super advanced form of photography. We're using light to print these incredibly intricate circuit patterns onto the wafer. It is the most critical and by far the most repeated step in the entire process. Okay, so here's how that printing loop works. First, a thin insulating layer of oxide is grown. Then, the wafer is coated with a light-sensitive chemical called a photoresist. Next, a huge machine shines extreme ultraviolet, or EUV, light through a mask, which is basically a stencil for the circuit pattern. The light hits the photoresist, which is then washed away, leaving the pattern behind. This pattern then guides the next steps: etching, where we precisely carve away material, and ion implantation, or doping, where we literally fire ions into the silicon to change its electrical properties. And this whole loop, it's repeated dozens and dozens of times to build up the complex 3D structures of the transistors. And the result of repeating that lithography loop over and over and over again, well, you get this. More than 50 billion transistors on a single high-end CPU. 50 billion! Tiny little switches, all built with atomic-level precision. The scale of it is it's truly hard to comprehend. So now that we have our billions of transistors, they're kind of like individual houses in a brand new city. They're not very useful until we build the roads and the power lines to connect them all together. So how do we do that? We do it by depositing ultra-thin layers of metal, usually copper, onto the wafer. And after each layer is added, a process called chemical mechanical polishing, or CMP, makes the surface perfectly flat for the next one. This deposit and polish cycle is repeated dozens of times, creating this dense, multi-layered highway system of wires, we call them interconnects, that let power and data zoom between all those billions of transistors. All right, we're on the home stretch now. The wafer is completely covered in hundreds of fully formed chips, but they're still incredibly fragile and totally untested. It's time to get them ready for the real world. This final stage is basically a gauntlet of quality control. First, every single chip on the wafer is electrically tested for any defects. Then, the wafer is precisely cut up, diced, into individual chips, which we call dies. Each working die is then placed into a protective package. This package is what gives it the pins to connect to your motherboard, and it includes a metal heat spreader to pull all that damaging heat away from the chip. And finally, the packaged CPU goes through one last round of brutal testing for speed, stability, and power use. Here's a really crucial point. Not all chips are created equal. Even on the exact same wafer, tiny little variations in the manufacturing process mean some chips will just perform better than others. This is where a process called binning comes in. Based on those final tests, the chips are sorted into different performance tiers. The absolute best performers become the high-end models you see on the shelf, while others might be sold as mid-range or more budget-friendly options. So after this unbelievable journey, from a single grain of sand to a fully tested, binned, and packaged processor, what does it all really mean? Well, a CPU isn't just a component. It's the culmination of decades of research in physics, chemistry, and nanotechnology, all brought to life with the most extreme manufacturing precision we've ever achieved. So every time you use a computer or a smartphone, just remember, you're interacting with one of the most complex and sophisticated objects humanity has ever created. It's truly a testament to what we can achieve, one atom at a time.